my daughter conned me into doing this. Now, I've been on TV a few times, but I have never ever done a Facebook Live. She and her friend, Michelle is living in Italy and Turin, and poor little thing, her entire family is locked up in their house, but I want them to be safe. She decided she wanted to learn how to cut up a chicken. So I'm going to cut up chickens in two ways.
Debone.
I'm going to show you what they look like before they're cut up. So they're all wrapped up. I live in town in Houston, Texas, and I live right around the corner from Pete's Meats, and they supply me with all my chickens and anything else I want in that category. Right now, because of I call it the lockdown in Houston, I call, I order, they throw it out to me, and I throw the money back to them. So that's how that works. And then just in case you were worried about me, check this out. Another one of my sponsors is Clorox disinfecting wipes. And then when all else fails this afternoon, I'm hitting the bottle. All right, so now you know how this day is going to go. Kind of goes like every other day. All right, now first and foremost, I have 2 chickens because I'm going to cut up 1 chicken to put on the grill later today. So the backstory of the grill is Jim, if you know me, you know who Jim is. He was a fabulous griller, and I thought I could never grill that good or well, so I used to teach English too, how about that? And so I thought, I'm going to get a propane tank. All right, this is fat, you don't want that, and this is a bag to throw all the mess in, because you never want to leave your chicken parts in your trash can inside the house. You always want to wrap it all up, throw it outside. Okay, so that's the start. Now, I just took those little things away. I'm going to cut the tail off. I'm sure there are a lot of fun jokes about the tail of a chicken. There it is, going to the trash. I'm going to butterfly this chicken. And so, back to the story. He was the great griller. And I never could understand, it took him hours, I tell you, to grill anything. Oh, look, and then he'd come in and he'd say, I made dinner. Yeah, he made dinner. All right, he put something on the grill, he took it off the grill. I made all the other parts of it. I'm gonna show you right here. You just take your scissors and cut right down the side of the backbone, all the way to the bottom. And I don't wear gloves. I'm not cooking in some fancy kitchen. I'm cooking in my own kitchen. And I wash my hands about 1 million times a day. All right, so this is it. This is all there is to it. This is going to be a butterfly chicken. This piece right here, I guess you could save it for stock, but do I look like I'm going to be saving anything for stock? I am not. But you could, and you could put it in your freezer with all the other backbones that you'll forget about and then eventually have to throw away. But anyway, this is good for stock. All right, so then you take your chicken, and it's now flat. And this is really pretty cool. And you just break the bone. You break the breastbone. You can get fancy. Let's see if I can do this today. And push this little wing bone right up underneath there. And this one right here. And now you look like Little Miss Professional, if that little wing will stay there. You can also slather it with olive oil. You could put garlic salt, you could put salt and pepper. Really, you could do all kinds of things. I do not put a barbecue sauce or any kind of sweet like a sugar or a honey, because that'll burn it up. And then I'm going to put this on the grill, but not now. All I'm doing today is cutting up chickens. We're not cooking anything. But this afternoon, if this works out well, I'll show you how to fry a chicken. I know, I'm Little Miss Healthy. I get it. So, all right, there's the butterfly chicken. Now, the next step in all of this is more complicated simply because you're dealing with pieces. So you're just cutting this chicken up. I'm a creature of habit, as most of us are. I'm going to do exactly what I did with the last one. And being a creature of habit, we taught school, and of course the kids went to school, so we were a school family. And our schedules were kind of similar and kind of not. My big standing joke all these years is I don't think anyone in my family really knew I worked, because they left before me, they came back after me, and I was always just standing there, ready. So I have convinced myself I don't think little Tracy in Chicago or a Mike in Round Top would agree, but I don't think they ever knew I actually worked. All right, so every Tuesday for years, I fried chicken. Friends knew that I fried chicken on Tuesdays. Claudia, my realtor, knew I fried chicken on Tuesdays, and sometimes she would be out showing houses and just drop by to make sure that I was frying chicken on Tuesday, just to make sure the whole world was fried. All right, so with chicken, as with really everything in the kitchen, and now that we're all facing coronavirus, who knows what, I'm constantly washing my hands and making sure that the chicken itself doesn't come in contact with things it doesn't need to come in contact with. So right now I'm just going to set that chicken, the scissors over here, run a rinse over this chicken, kind of pull some of the fat out. You'll see, and you know, to be honest, most people don't like fooling around with chickens. I don't mind at all. I like fooling around with food. I think it's fun. I like making new recipes. If they're a failure, so what? You know, what's the worst that could happen? You throw it out. So experiment, and especially now, see all this fat? You don't need all this fat. In fact, you probably don't need to be frying chicken, but I'm not gonna stop that little process. All right, so you have 2 little wings. Pete's Meats chickens are not really big, but that's good. You don't want a great big chicken. You want this size chicken for a fryer. And, well, I'll get back to it. I want to show you how to cook it too, but I don't have time for that right now. Anyway, so you start with the leg, and you take your knife. It'd be better if I washed it off. And you just sort of pull your leg away and see how now you've kind of gone to the inside, and just by feel, and try to avoid bones. You just cut, 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 and splat. Now, you've got quite a bit of fat in there. This is a fattier chicken than most, but that's all right too. These chickens are the best chickens I've ever had. And then you've got thigh and leg. You've got, obviously, 2 thighs, 2 legs. So here you go. And then you kind of feel for where the bone isn't. So you cut right through, and then you go to the bottom. I am not using my sharpest knife. I told Tracy I was a little nervous to do this, and she kind of laughed. She said, "You are?" Yeah, well, yeah, I am. I don't want to mess this up. So here's a thigh with fabulous chicken skin that, of course, little Miss Healthy is going to eat, but the rest of you don't have to. And there's that, and there's the little tiny leg. And you go to the other side, and you do the exact same thing. And as I said before, when you kind of pull this, you can see that it separates. See right there. This is the breast area, the back and the breast. You see the wing up here. And then this is the leg and the thigh, and they're together and attached. But pretty soon, you're going to round the bend. And again, there's no worst that can happen. If you struggle with the bone, well, then that's what you do. It's okay.
Make sure to keep your fingers away from the knife.
It would be really good to keep your fingers away from the knife blade because you could cut yourself. Which, I don't know that I've ever cut myself cutting up chicken, but wow, I have cut myself. And other members of my family, I think they may have cut even fingernails right off their body. Anyway, I haven't had at least not until today, I haven't had a cut bad enough to go to the hospital, but I have had some bloodshed. Okay, so now, again, we've pulled, you see how this is? I'm left-handed, so it's reverse of what most people do. But there's a little leg, and there's a little thigh, and then you just cut through, and you can feel this. Don't be afraid to feel it. Okay, so it's between the two. Now, you don't want to go like swashbuckling like Zorro through this because your hand is right there. So you want to go part way, then go underneath and come back. I'm using a Kuhn Rikon. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. I've never had to sharpen this little knife. I'm never really worried about it slashing me. It may. I haven't cut myself with this knife yet. But some knives are so sharp that you're just going to be right through it before you know it. And I just assume go a little slower. All right, so again, wash your hands. Not because you're going to be doing something different with your chicken, but why not? All right, now my favorite part is the wing. And again, we're doing the same exact thing. And you see there's bone there and there's bone there, but between it, just like us, it's built the same way. There is muscle. Here it is. That's it. This is a little wing. This is a really little wing. Have you ever seen a wing this little? Maybe a Kentucky Fried Chicken. They have pretty little wings. All right, there you go. That's one. And then you just do the exact same thing. And see, I've been doing this forever. So your first time through of cutting up a chicken. Not that, by the way, anybody's really going to be doing this. But, you know, if you came for comic relief, here it is. All right, so here's the second one. And I like to do this because then it looks a little neater. You do that. That one's done. Now you go to the back. I'm not a real big fan of cooking the back, although there are lots of people who like it. It's mostly bony, and some people really like the crunchy parts. So I did it really fast. I probably should have done it slower, but here's the whole back, and you just cut the little edges and cut through. It's very obvious how to do that. The less obvious one is the one I always have a problem with. So let's pretend, there was a head right there on this chicken because this is neck. All right, so now we're down to the breast and the back, and there's the back right there. And there's where the head would have been, but thank God they take the head away. They don't leave that on there. They don't leave the feet either. But back in the old days, and in fact, sometimes at HEB you can see chicken feet. They make great chicken soup. All right, I do something that's really not the best, I don't think, but I just pull it all right off. And that's the other half. And there is a little bit of meat on there. And I could fry that up too, as long as I'm doing this. All right, here's what you came for. This is the breast. And it's funny because over time, you realize how to do something, and so then you make it better. So I stick my thumbs right here, and I just run it down as far as I can, and then take a knife the rest of the way. And now we're deboning this breast, and it takes practically 0 time. So now it's separate. I haven't done a lot of work. I just sort of split it a little bit with my thumb and then cut the rest of the way. It doesn't have to be uber perfect. It just is going to be separate from the bone. This is the tenderloin. When you get chicken fingers or a chicken tenderloin in the store, this is the finest part of the chicken breast, if you like white meat. So it's right on here. I could take it off, but I don't take it off. I fry this thing right there with this bone, and I never let anybody else eat it, and I pretend I don't know what they're talking about when they ask where the little chicken fingers are. All right, so that's the best part about being a mom, is you get the best parts, if there's any parts left. So now, I pulled this part, and you see, like if you wanted to stuff a chicken breast, this is how you do it. You just stuff whatever you want to stuff in there. See, there's nothing to this. And then you slide your knife, without cutting yourself, down the edge. Now look, now it's all open. And see? All right, now you take your knife, and you go from the top edge, and you cut down. Let's make sure I don't cut myself after all this conversation about cutting with knives. And you see, there's a bone at the top. And that, my friends, is the whole thing. This I fry up, unhealthy of course, and this you split in half, or you leave it whole. You can do that too, whatever you want to do with it. And here you can leave the skin on, or you can take the skin off. All right, I'm going to get I forgot one little thing I'm going to get. I'm going to get a little cutting board. All right, this is clean. It looks terrible, but it is my little bitty cutting board. And I'm going to plop this right on here. Before I do that, I'm going to wash my hands again, just because I can. when you're cutting chicken or doing anything with chicken, it is a piece of meat that really needs protection. There's just a lot of germiness to it, so I don't want my millions of fans commenting about my unsanitary conditions. Remember, this is home use. We're not out there at Kentucky Fried cutting these chickens up. All right, so now you've got the entire breast, and it's big in comparison to everything else we've dealt with. So why not cut it in half? So you take your knife and really cut. You can see it's not cutting very easily.
Skin's tight.
Yeah, the skin is tight, kind of slippery. So I turned it over, and now most humans would throw that skin away, and I probably will too, but you cut right through, and you cut right through right here. So now you have two beautiful halves from a chicken, and you know where it came from because it's all one piece of chicken. You've got a whole chicken. You'll just be amazed at the taste difference. And you could put the other parts, you could make a chicken soup if you wanted to, if you just wanted to keep these, or if you just were saving wings, you could, get several of those. You can have your wings and your chicken breast. You can cut this into strips, and that could be like chicken fingers as well. So here you go, that's what it looks like. If you are going to cook it just like this, then you want to cut off the little bits of fat. And you can see where there's fat right there. This is where a sharper knife might be nice, but I started with this one. You're going to live and die with this little knife. All right, there's this. Okay, in these trying times, when everything is all turned upside down, and you really, really are so bored you don't know what else to do, hop into the kitchen and see what you've got in your freezer and in your pantry. And pretend you're on an episode of Chopped and put things together. Because, like I said, what's the very worst thing that could happen to you? Nothing. Nothing bad will come of this. If it tastes awful, you throw it out and start up with something else. All right, you guys have a great day out there today. And, oh, all right, you guys have a great day out there. And see you next time in my kitchen.